Yes, Sri K. Francis Dodd.
Sir, I rise to support the Finance Bill 2007, the objective of which is to give effect to the financial proposals of Government of India for the year 2007-8. So the people have been looking up to this budget with a lot of expectations that this budget will fulfill at least 3/4 of the commitments that has been made in the National Common Minimum Program. Why? Because, sir, the government has just entered the 4th year of its existence. So naturally people were expecting that the NCMP commitments will be fulfilled through this budget. Sir, of course the budget has paid explicit attention to secondary education, education for minorities, increased outlays for National Rural Health Mission, midday meal scheme and sectors relating to infrastructure.
He's going.
But sir, I have to say that, but it did not come up to the levels promised in the National Common Minimum Program. So the promise of raising public spending
Yes.
to a tune of 6% of the DGP in the education sector, that has been delayed. If there is one sector which can contribute in the long-term future of the country, the long-term development of the country, that is education. I don't know what is the hindrance in spending the promised level of public funding in this very vital sector of our country. Sir, now education is being financed through the cess which is being levied on all the taxes. In fact, it should have complemented the budgetary allocation for education. Now it is the other way around. The budget allocation is complementing to the cess pool that is being collected for spending in this very vital sector, sir. Sir, people have been expecting more resource support for crucial economic sectors like agriculture, rural development and social sectors. I don't know what is the reason why there has been less and less of allotment for these very vital areas. So there are no strong measures to expand the tax revenue in the coming years, and also no measures to recover the tax arrears which are not under dispute, which amounts to rupees 19,875 crore. Also, sir, the total projection of wealth tax to be collected, it comes to only 315 crore. Somebody, I think it was Rupchand Palji, when he spoke, he specifically mentioned about the wealth tax collection in this country. Is it that it will come to only 315 crore with so much of progress and, with so much of wealthy people topping the list of, even the Forbes list of world's wealthiest of people? Sir, another area of concern is the transfer of resources to the states. So there is an increase in the gross transfer from center to states, but at the same time expenditure of states are increasing much more rapidly than the transfer of funds from the center to the states. So there are 4 major fiscal transfers from the center. One is the share of central taxes, secondly central assistance for state plans, thirdly non-plan grants and loans,
Yes, thank you.
fourthly then assistance to central plan and centrally sponsored schemes. So share of central taxes are predetermined by the Finance Commission. In the case of the second and third, central assistance for state plans and non-plan grants, it goes directly to the budget of the states. So the states have some kind of a leverage as far as spending this money is concerned. But in the case of centrally sponsored schemes, sir, it is partly, funded by the center with assistance from the states. And now the trend is that there are more allocation for centrally sponsored schemes than to the other fiscal transfers of the center to the states. That means the states have very less control, very less leverage over central allotment in spending those money. So that is exactly why, sir, in the morning during 0 hour we raised this issue of the appointment of the new Central Commission for looking into the central-state relations, where we had specifically mentioned that in the terms of reference, issues of vital concern to the states should be included. In fact, we felt very sorry when we read the report that none of these issues are going to be addressed by the Commission on Central-State Relations. So increase in the state's share of central taxes, transfer of centrally sponsored schemes in the state subjects to the states, alleviation of the debt burden of the states, autonomy for states in fixing shares of central taxes, framing financial policies, taking loans and utilizing central schemes. All these has to be part of the terms of reference of the new commission which is going to look into the central-state relations. So the budget exempted crude and refined edible oils from additional CVD of 4%. There is a specific mention about sunflower, sir. Crude and refined version of sunflower, there is an exemption of 15%. The Honorable Finance Minister, I remember reading somewhere, said there is a demand-supply mismatch, or if it is to control inflation. But the direct effect is on coconut oil, and then ultimately on coconut, the price of coconut. So again, there has been a cut of 10% import duty on crude and refined palm oil. All this, the Honorable Minister comes from a state where coconut is grown in plenty. The millions of coconut farmers, they are already harassed for the last several years. They were not getting a fair price realization. And every year there is a reduction of, import duty on these various kind of edible oils, which directly affect the price of coconut oil and ultimately the price of coconut, and certainly will affect coconut farmers. I would request the Honorable Finance Minister, as soon as possible, correction has to be done. Otherwise, there is absolutely no meaning in saying that we are, trying to help the farmers. So there is one item which was first mentioned very prominently in the first budget of the Honorable Finance Minister, but subsequently forgotten. That is PURA, providing urban amenities in rural areas. This is a major or a pet project of our Honorable President, respected Rashtrapati Ji. He has been advocating this scheme to provide urban amenities in rural areas, which is long overdue. We have crossed 60 years of our independence, and still the conditions in our rural areas as far as infrastructure development are concerned, very poor. So the Honorable President, in fact, had mooted this particular program. I don't know, there is absolutely no mention about this in the budget. Sir, one or two items of state-specific issues, Kerala-specific issues I would like to mention. I am concluding. Sir, in the case of service tax, 60% of the state's GDP is derived from services. But the state gets only rupees 100 crore from taxes on services through the central devolution scheme. Sir, I would request the Honorable Finance Minister to consider giving not only Kerala, all states, its due share of service tax, so that states can at least stand on their legs. Sir, then the state also intends to charge additional excise duty on textiles, tobacco and sugar. But then Government of India should not cut 1% of additional devolution given to the state, as it will lose about 100 crore. So there is also a proposal mooted by state of Kerala that central sales tax to be abolished in a phased manner, so that there are free movement of goods throughout the country, and it will lead to reduction in price of goods and also increase in the revenue of states. Sir, before concluding, I would like to mention about the issue mentioned here by my very good friend Mr. Chitan. He referred to Kerala state and also specifically about Mullaperiyar issue, sir. Sir, what exactly is this issue? I don't think there needs any clarification, because time and again we have several times in this house raised this issue and explained the position of Kerala state. So Mullaperiyar is a 110-year-old dam, which was made of very old technology, pre-independence technology during the British times, and now it is in a very bad condition. And Kerala has been raising this issue. Why? Because if the dam collapses, if there is some kind of an accident, and if the entire bulk of water which will rush into one of the major Asia's biggest arch dam, Idukki Dam, and if that dam also collapses, you can't say, you can't predict. If something happens, the heartland of Kerala will be washed away. About 5 districts, nearly 35 to 40 lakh of people will die. The loss to life and property will be unimaginable. That kind of a catastrophe, I think we shouldn't take a chance on such an issue. That is exactly why Kerala said we should have a new dam in the place of this 110-year-old dam. What is wrong with that? We never said, or we will never say, that we won't give water, which is very much needed for Tamil Nadu. In fact, this water, sir, if we can get this water during summer, we can generate electricity from Idukki through this Idukki project, Hydel project. And we don't have to pay money for central allocation. We are now paying through our nose to get central allocation during this lean period. The entire water is being drawn by Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu is also generating electricity to the tune of about 250 to 300 crore rupees. And Kerala is being paid annually 8.5 lakhs as compensation for drawing so much of water. And this is not the only project from which Kerala gives water to Tamil Nadu. We have the Parambikulam Aliyar agreement, we have the Shiruvani agreement. Shiruvani, from the Shiruvani project, entire Coimbatore town is being fed from Shiruvani. And also we give water from Neyyar. And so much of, over the years we have been very generous. It is not that Kerala is, so much of, self-sufficient in water. During summer we also do have extreme problem as far as drinking water is concerned, leave alone irrigation purpose and all that. So, sir, Kerala is primarily dependent on hydropower. So this water, or even a drop of water, is precious for us. But we do understand the importance of sharing this precious wealth with our Tamil Nadu brethren. We have no objection to that. But unfortunately, I don't understand the leadership of Tamil Nadu. I don't know why don't they understand this, our very vital concern regarding the life and property of the people. Any government. In fact, it is not a problem of Kerala alone. It is a problem of the whole country. If something happens, we are all answerable. Not only Kerala government, who rules in Kerala is not the only issue. Government of India will be answerable. So I would humbly submit that we should sit and discuss and find a very reasonable solution. Wow. I don't know what is unreasonable as far as what Kerala says. Just to have a new dam instead of a very old dam which is in a very precarious condition. Recently, when the water level came down, we could see huge gaps in the dam. So just shutting our eyes, that is very unfortunate. So I would request the honorable leader from Tamil Nadu is here, is a very respected senior leader of the country and also of the state, to take a lead in this issue. Arrange a meeting of both states, both the leaders of the states, come to a settlement. We have no problem. I can very well say on the floor of this house, on behalf of the state government, that the state will never refuse to share water with Tamil Nadu. We only seek the protection of our people, for which I think Tamil Nadu is duty bound morally, because for the last 110 years we have been very, very generous. Even sacrificing our needs, we have been very generous. I hope this message will go, and I hope Honorable Chidambaram ji will take the lead in settling this matter instead of, quarreling between ourselves. Sir, I once again commend all the efforts that is being done by our Honorable Finance Minister to steer the financial sector of our country in the right path. Of course, we do disagree with certain policies and certain programs, but of course we can sit and discuss and come to a consensus on all these matters, sir. Thank you, sir.
Shri P.